everybody. Well, except for Steve. YouTube thing's actually been going pretty well recently. Getting a lot of views, likes, comments. I appreciate it. So if you want to, please subscribe, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. That'd be even better. And we're going to keep it rolling. You know, we got some more stuff to do. In this video, we're going to get this timing figured out because I have an adjustable timing set and the cam gear's got to have 1 to 7 thou, and we're playing with it and I think I messed it up, so I had to get a new timing plate. We are going to go over new ARP rocker studs, and we're gonna paint the engine block. I wasn't going to do this. I really wasn't. I was going to bolt this thing all together. I pulled all the head studs out of it. I took the heads off. I'm taking stuff off now. But sitting here, seeing this motor with the brand new clean heads on it and the clean covers and everything, and I'm like, I just can't. Just can't. We are going to use some Alumablast to paint this engine. Restores original non-smudge aluminum finish made with actual aluminum material for added durability. Do you think it stops rods coming out of it? Restores wheels and castings to the original condition, resists corrosion and abrasion, ideal for engine blocks, water pumps, and more. Made in the USA. Now, I was reading this, directions, and it says nothing about a primer. Surface must be clean, dry, and free of rust before painting. Protect surrounding areas. Blah, 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 blah. Shake can. Spray steady. Spray surface with steady, even strokes at a distance 8 to 10 inches. Several light coats. If clogging develops, to clear spray head. Nothing about a primer. So, we're going to wing it. See how good my prep work is and see how long this lasts. But we're going to get it painted. I got valve train components up here. We're not going to paint it right here. We're going to push that car outside this weekend and paint it over there. My Johnson link bar is ready to go in. 2 116s. I'm going to go over taping up this engine, cleaning it up. There's a couple little tricks you can do. I'll show you to tape these up. You can sit there with a razor blade and cut all this. You can do something like this, very gently. Look at that. Nice crisp paint edge. And you just work it all around, just very gentle. Alright, you don't have to He-Man this thing. Nice and easy. It'll come right off, for the most part. Well, I thought I hit record on the end of painting this engine, and I did not. But I can show you the final masterpiece. See how well this came out. It looks all so good and so brand new, and it feels great. Pretty pleased with that. So this is what I used. You saw the prep for the most part. After I was done sanding everything with the wire wheels, I just took some acetone on a clean rag and wiped it all off. You know, cleaned it, blew it all off, wiped it all off, and then took the blowtorch to everything. Make sure it was good. And it was good. It came out great. You know, paint laid on it, beautiful. The heads still aren't bolted down. I'm still waiting for parts, but I like to look at it this way. And I think I'm going to paint this the same color as this because I hate the black. Absolutely hate the black. I still have to wash it all out, finish washing it out. sensor out of here and clean that. But what we'll do is I gotta take all those rocker studs back out because I forgot that the intake ports went into, let me try to show you what I'm talking about here. All right, that's right, I gotta take all those out because if you look, the rocker, it's drilled far because of the size of everything. So each intake, I just got to put a little dabble dooya on there, and I forgot on the other side. The only thing we got to do is reset the, I got a new cam plate because I don't like the way, so the directions were kind of funky on the adjustable cam gear, and I think we went too far grinding that down. So now I want to redo it, start from over, and then one of my buddies told me how to actually measure it, and what he said is the easiest way to do it is to stick 2 1/1000 feeler gauges behind the gear, tighten it down, and see if you can pull them out. So we're gonna give that a shot. Fresh new plate. The back of this has, I think it's called a Torrington bearing. Don't quote me. But what the instructions say, end play should be checked before final assembly of the engine. Even when installing all new parts, install the camshaft, the thrust plate in its normal position, which is this, the cam sprocket onto the engine to the specified torque rating. Now use feeler gauges to check the clearance between the thrust plate and the front cam bearing journal thrust face. I'm assuming it's between this plate and this bearing. It says the thrust plate and the front cam bearing journal thrust face. The maximum feeler thickness feeler gauge represents camshaft end play. End play should be 1/1000 to 7/1000. Now I'm assuming that's between, see, now I think like this is the thrust face, not the actual front cam bearing journal thrust face. I feel so stupid reading this. I don't understand. So if this is the thrust face, right, the actual gear, not the bearing, the bearing sticks out over that thrust face. So how would I even measure that? This is what I dealt with last time, and I got so close to just sticking the stock gear on it and calling it a day. Alright, what I'm doing is I took a 2 thou feeler gauge, stuck it between the cam gear all the way down to the cam. See the feeler gauge? Stuck it down in between the gear and the cam, and then tighten the cam up on it, as you just seen. And there's room there. I guess we should see how much room. So it says 7. So let's go to a 5 and see what happens. Alright, so I can't pull out a 5. So it's probably 3.5 ish. We're gonna run that. Because it says 1 to 7. What a stupid. It's not stupid. I'm stupid. I just think it's stupid because I can't figure it out. Thus and hence, now the part is stupid. Isn't that how that works? Can't figure something out, blame the part? That's right, we blame the part. It's 2024. It's gonna be at least a month plus before I can race anyway, because I sent my shocks out and he said they went to Afterworks. Ron G told me 3 to 4 week turnaround, plus shipping there, plus shipping back. So 3 to 5 weeks, somewhere in there, plus. But I need them. I need them. Can't do it without those. I ain't gonna go.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network. You might want to check the connection settings in the
Shut the hell up! Can't try to go one teams on blown out string singles. Back in my day, I used to do that on Lakewood. I'm sure you did. Oh yeah. Congratulations. All right. Get my chain, get my gear. That's 25 foot-pounds, right? Dot to dot. All right, I'll run with that for now and give everything a little check over. And so I'm gonna add these Monkey Fab Dash 12 bunks to my oil pan. I had Dash 10s, this side's fine, but on the other side, I think my problem is how far up I put this. So every once in a while, you would see me. Oh God, I almost missed a piece of tape. You'd see me make a quarter-mile pass, let off, and there'd be smoke out of the driver turbo on decel. 2-3 seconds, go away, and everything was fine. Changed the fittings on the drain line, rerouted the drain line, like nothing really got it to go away. Chalked it up to being a turbo. And then I thought about it, and I thought maybe on diesel, since I ran 9 or 10 quarts in this thing, 7-quart pan, but I ran the external oil filter with the clear view and everything. I mean, the filter itself on the clear view holds a half a quart, you know, plus lines, plus everything else. I think when it'd be decel, the oil would push up here and it would block this drain. I'm gonna take a 12 and go right about there on both sides. Bigger hose, deeper into the sump. I'm gonna drill the holes for this, and then well, then the Monkey Fabs are really nice. They give you this meaty shot. Like these things got some girth to them, and it gives you plenty of spot to weld and burn them in without compromising the fitting. These are really nice. I really like his fittings. So I'd go over to that Monkey Fab. Where is he? Monkey Fab Garage, right? Monkey Fab Garage. And get yourself these. All my bins there are full of his weld fittings as well, just because I think they're probably the best on the market. Alright. I've started welding the fittings on. This side actually looks pretty good. I messed up. I just don't weld enough, and it's this side. I kept having issues. You see, it's like, I don't want to say burnt, but yeah. I forget these pans are anodized or whatever coating they have on them. So I ground it down better on this side, and I changed rods. I was using the wrong rod, so I switched to a different rod and switched to a different cup, thinking that I'm having a contamination leak because it was blowing black smoke out onto everything. I mean, it's time for a new hose. I really want to get the CK 25 footer for this, but I keep finding better things to spend $170 on while this still works. You know, a lot of people go through them fast, but I've had this for like 5 or 6 years now. I mean, it's time for a new hose, but it's one of those things I have a hard time spending money on. So we're gonna finish getting this welded all the way around. I gotta clean the inside of the pan out again. I gotta do a little grind. It's got a little through on there. This is done. Got the, dang, how did I already mess up that cap? Oh, it's probably from sitting on the edge. Tighten these caps up. I really hope this pan seals. A little silicone in that area. You could see the edge of the gasket where it sits, and that's the rubber. I'll show you. So it's like, it's a little close. I think there's gonna be a little silicone in that area just in case. I don't want to buy a new pan. The thing's $500. So let me finish getting this welded out. Forgot to show you guys the finished bungs. You can see the old one there, new one here, deeper in the sump, further back, bigger, 1210. This side welded great when I realized that it had the crap on it. Yep, one on each side, ready to go. Now I'm just gonna make new hoses and get new fittings for the Maven mounts. I think that's about it for this video. I finish cleaning the oil pan out, put this back together, put that back. I think we'll wrap that up. We got a bunch of work done, lots of little odds and ends, solid progress. I wish I had the dang oil pump, man. And the short block could be 100% wrapped up and done. The only thing I have to order to put this motor together completely is valve springs and retainers, but I just don't have the money for it right now. Oh, I ordered the valves, ordered the oil pump, springs and retainers, and then I can assemble the heads. And once I assemble the heads can get torqued down. Once the head get torqued down, I can start measuring for push rods on the rockers. Hopefully my valve covers will be here soon. My new valve covers from Winchester Metalworks. I had those on the car before, but now I'm going smart coil, so I need the upgrade. What else? Oh, I need my hot side back. I just want to dump the long block in the car. It's all I want to do. It'll make me a happy man. But until then, we're going to keep doing odds and ends. I probably should start getting the wiring laid back in that car, rewiring the lights, wipers and blinkers and all that stuff. I just don't want to do wiring right now. But it has to be done. And I don't have the money to pay someone, so that means I got to do it. So, wrap this up, get in your garage, grab a cold drink or a hot drink. Kind of cold out today. Got my cappuccino over there, but I got my Joe T. Blood orange lemonade in the truck, 2 bottles. Fuck you, Steve. And get to work on your hot rod. Have a great day, guys.